perps around you. These perps are supposed to make you subscribe to this thing. It's funny, as I was trying to prep for this video, I was trying to make my phone work, and then I was having issues. And they like to use these moments to kind of create some suspense and they want you to get frustrated, and that's when they try to implant their narrative. Now here's somebody whispering, "Oh, they're gonna rape you. Oh, you like kids. He likes people who likes kids." Because they want me to like accept this nastiness they do to me, right? And you hear this childlike individual tell me how I'm gonna cry and everything. These are all part of using these warnings of torment and torture to make you accept these things. Like I said before, target individual for me it's been continuously trying to make me accept this persona. They do everything possible. They try to frustrate you. They try to make you anxious and everything. You just gotta know who you are and now to subscribe to this. The way they've done these things is in different factors. Um, they try obviously they force you to have this manipulation, stimulations of all sorts for children, from the babies to the older kids, right? And try to get you to accept it. You don't even have to look at it as somebody who's a kid. They can force you to get stimulation. But the way they try to validate this, as they try to make me somebody like a Roy Moore, and I say this name because they have issues saying his name because the people who put me here, my old employer, responsible for me being here, sponsored, donated money to this pedophile after this allegation came out. And they are trying to make me accept this personality. With a lot of manipulation, a lot of falsification, a lot of things they've changed around. And I'm going to walk through it a little bit today. So some of the things they've done is different levels. There's things they made up and try to create their own narration of things, which is most of it. And one thing they've used, and I've talked about it many times, is like in 2014, I followed this person thinking she was an adult. She looked like an adult. Is one of those people that looks much older than their age. Me as a 27, just turned 27, looked at her, thought like she might be like her early 20s or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not, but I mean, at the time I was believing that she was an adult, but she wasn't. And it's one of those people, and I've shown like blur picture of her, how she looked when I follow her. Definitely somebody you could definitely believe and think that she's an adult when she wasn't. This one of those people that looks much older than her age. Unfortunately, I follow her not knowing that. But I never interacted with this person. Never. It was more like I started following her stories, and she actually had great stories. She was traveling the world. She was having like I lived through her like through her life, and she had actually great social life in the sense that she was traveling a lot, she was doing it, and it was actually more fun. And but anyways, they're using that moment as the proof. They see that's proof. In 2014, you follow this person. Now the rest is becoming just more of like creation of narration that they want. One thing they've done is make me, think of okay, how it's just become so illogical because they don't have much. You understand? I'm talking about Roy Moore, right? A man who was a man who allegedly was picking up kids from YMCA's and the malls when he was 30 some years old. Me, this is the me following somebody in 2014, thinking they were, when I was 27 years old, this person looking like she's an adult when she wasn't, and that's that. Follow her stories, and I never even had a single interaction with this person. Just saw her stories, traveling and everything, and that's that. Now the rest they have to paint because what's happening now is because they forced me to get stimulated for children. And so one thing they've done is, and this is weak and it's really bad in the sense of like, as in, it's bad in the sense that it's just like it's such a no, like it's just so sad almost. There's this person I remember in 2019, right? And I'm gonna go personal again, because it's part of reality that I'm living in, and I have to put things in perspective to all my target individual. The reason why I get so personal is because I want my story to be told, and I want the details of certain things to be told so that you can understand what they do. 2019, I was, that was a time where things started to go bad in certain ways. So I decided to come to a different city, right? When I came to this city, I decided to kind of start a healthy life. I decided to become somewhat celibate, right? I think it was good for my state of mind, and and when I mean celibate, I mean in the ways that is harder, and I won't go into details. And so the way I did that is to stay. It was to stay away from things that will make me think in a sexual way, right? I don't want to be graphic, but I just want to bring that up. And so for 5 months or so, before I got hit by this V2K thing, I maintained this celibacy, and honestly, it was one of the best time in my life. Even though I was getting followed around and things, and I started noticing that mentally I felt stronger. In this, not stronger, but I felt healthy. Stronger, I don't know, but healthy is the word. I was felt healthy before August 19, 2019, and then boom, man, I just lost it. I mean, I got really, it became, I didn't, things got terrible in my mind to an extreme that's intense, to say the least. And so what I would do is just watch things that would not drive me to think in a sexual way. One of the things I watch is I'll watch sometimes this like TikTok things, whatever. Like I would not go into things that would take my mind in a sexual way. And I watch some TikTok things and some, I'm not on TikTok, right? I'll be like on some other social place, and they have TikTok, and okay, look at them dancing, very like PG, family oriented content, content, and and that's how I was able to maintain this celibacy. Now, these people, the sad people who came and say Roy Moore, now are gonna try to find what they can manipulate and or create a narration. That's when you know these people are just truly pathetic and sad. Matter of fact, as I'm saying that, somebody should start making noise campaign with their keys. They are so pathetic and so sad. These people who came and say the name of Roy Moore. There was this TikToker, looked like she was like in her college room doing her TikTok thing. Very PG, nothing too crazy. Very like, and they say, "Oh, you thought she was pretty or something like that." And I'm like, "Okay, what would you?" And and they like started making me imagine, "Oh, she's underage." Because what they're trying to do is find where they can create something. And so they're, oh, because you found her, let's try to make her thing. It's just so random. And of course, they're going to pick somebody where I will never be able to go look and find. I talked about it. And you hear these people next door who are trying to make noise campaign, right? They're making noise campaign and try to make you feel acceptive of these things, right? These people who can't say Roy Moore, right? Doesn't even want to take a picture because they know how illogical it is. That's a sign that these people know they are kind of on the spectrum when it comes to try to make you accept this false persona. Now, I will give this person, and she looked like she was in college. You can see the college room. You can see like the setting of where she was taking. That she's like early 20s. I'll give her maybe 22 years old. Matter of fact, later on, I did see somebody who looked just like her who was 24. So I gave her 22, between 20 to 23 maybe. And so they can, of course, make me imagine these people to be underage. I will never truly know, but I have to now like try to remember what a 22-year-old looks like. So what I do, like I showed in the past, is like I look at this 20-some-year-old, and it's rough because what's happening is like they really stimulate me. Now they're adults, right? So the way I do this is, for example, I'm on like a dating app, and I'll go on Tinder, as you can see here, and I do a age range of 20 to 23 or something like that. and then start taking picture of those people, as you can see, and it's like, okay, every single one of these people, if I ever saw them, they will make me imagine as underage. Matter of fact, as I was going through this, they were stimulating me, right? Just because they're that young, they're adults, but they're young, and they will force me stimulation. It was intense. Now I understand what they're trying to do. It's like, oh, because we're matching. No, 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 you're forcing me to be stimulated. Therefore, they were making me be stimulated on toward so many of them. They were stimulating me. They're like, oh, and they're like, oh, we're there. Like, mind you, this is a people who cannot speak about this man, Roy Moore, that which I will, as you can see the thumbnail, that's him. A man that picked up kids. And these people are trying to like make me subscribe to that. And oh yeah, we're there. Obviously, they do say things to agitate you. They say things to try to get you to be all riled up because they're trying to escape from reality. Now, when they were trying to mess with me, there's so much other stuff they did. But matter of fact, I could hear via the V2K this person talking. Right? It sounds like they're coming from next door. Yeah, who knows if they're actually from next door? But they're like, oh, they're gonna castrate. Excuse my language. They're gonna castrate your ass. And I said, Roy Moore, keep quiet. It's like, listen, my friend. You can't even speak about an actual pedophile. You're here trying to make me accept these things. You understand reality is something you try to escape from. They were stimulating me toward these people. Every single one of them. Just the stimulation was so intense. Now, obviously, they're adult. I don't, I'm not gonna be like, okay, if there's a 23-year-old woman who looks beautiful, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, well, of course I know that it's that, but this is not where I would want. This is not what I go for. This is not the age range I'm usually in. This is because I want to show and see how these people can all be forced. They can force me to think of these kids, these adults, young adults, into kids. And so that's the thing. But before that, when they were messing with me initially, I was like, okay, I'm giving this TikToker between 20 and 22, right? Let me show you what this looks like. I googled TikToker, and because it was in 2019, I said TikToker in 20-year-old TikToker or something like that. I googled that in 20-year-old TikToker in 2019. The things that came up, the results, it was so disgusting, right? Now, these people didn't look, first of all, 20. But first of all, TikTok nowadays, now I don't know, but TikTok has gone. I don't remember TikTok because I'm not on these things. I didn't know TikTok was just that sexual. And I saw these people who are like, I'm like, I don't even know if these people are adults. Even though I Googled 20-year-old TikToker, I was like, I don't know if these people are adults. They almost don't look adult. I mean, like if they are, oh my gosh, they look like kids to me. Like, ugh. And they were all like sexual. It was like, woof, it was disgusting. It's disgusting. And the reason why I was Googling that is because I was going to take a screenshot and instead of using this Tinder thing, I'll be like, this is what they look like. And I'll get like a bunch of like TikTokers. I don't know what how old, but they look very like they actually looked underage to be honest. Even though I was searching for a 20 TikToker, 20-year-old TikTokers in 2019 or something like that, just so I can take screenshots and do the same thing I'm doing here with Tinder. But what I saw there was like, oh my gosh, it was disgusting. I was like, oh, it was just a bunch of like, and then I try, and escaped this. Not escape. I got out. I got out of that. So I got out. It's like, oh, I can't even watch that. They look too much like underage people. Even if they're not, they can try to put that feeling toward the kids. I don't like that because they can condition you in these ways. It's so dangerous. They manipulate your brain to start thinking in ways that's just so disgusting. I've said many times before what they've done before. They have forced me to have dreams about people who age sexual dreams who are ambiguous, right? To train me to start looking at kids in a sexual way. So when I see these people who, to me, they are ambiguous, but they look very like they can easily, to me, be seen to be like actually actually look like they're kids, but they're dressed in a sexual way. It's so disgusting. they could easily start training my brain even more toward looking at kids in this sexual way. So I got out of that immediately by like, oh, you know what? I should just take a screenshot of that before I do that because I know they can mess with me. I do the same search, different result comes up. I'm like, what? I can't recreate the same results. I'm like 20-year TikTok. The result doesn't come up. It's like, what? It's like, as literally said 20-year-old TikToker into the different results. And it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know if they did something, but I'm not getting the same result. Maybe because, when you Google things, sometimes the result changes, which is true. So in my mind, it's like, oh, because maybe you say 20 something, like they try to come up with their own stories. But I'm getting different results. So I'm not able, and the new results are not as disgusting as what I was seeing before. And I'm like, what is that? So yeah, now today they're trying to bring up this thing. Imagine this happened here when I'm in this apartment maybe last year, right? And so these people are desperate to try to come up with things like now they bring Alex see that see it's like oh it's disgusting. They come up with their own that's why I say something like they have been forcing themselves and me to live this falsified reality that reality have to come to them and it's gonna come to them badly. Where in this world there are gods. In the real world, they're nothing but bottom feeders that work for pedophiles that are experimenting on human being with technology. So, but with me, they talk like, keep talking. You're going to see. It's like, yes, I know. I'm going to experience horrible things. I'm going to experience terrible things. But you don't know what's coming for you. Check one. So yes, you don't know. I'm sorry. I thought my headphones died because this is my battery almost done. Um, but yes. So target individuals. This is the things I need to do. And mind you, like I said, these young people in their 20s, right? These like young adults, they were stimulating me to the nth degree. They're stimulating me to the nth degree. It's crazy. And they just do so much nasty things. And my mind now they're like, oh, but when you're like searching for 20, they try to say like you made a mistake. Maybe you typed in 20s, 10. The stories they're coming up with is just nonsensicalness. And I'm talking about the result of like what happened when I was searching for a 20-year-old TikToker, I think in 2019 or something like that, or 20-year-old TikToker, something like that. And there's a bunch of TikTokers like that, just like, ugh. And so they're trying to come up with their different storylines. So to all my target individuals, the way I'm gonna wrap this up is just remember, justice will be done first of all. They will be reimbursed. They live in a reality where for me at least, this Roy man, this pedophile has humbled them. I have my neighbors who, if you see them, you will know they're full of BS. They are trash. They don't even want to be seen at this point because it's just kind of embarrassing. And so, with me, to remind myself reality, I have to do these things where I need to like look at what 20-year-old, 22, 20, like what they look like because if I see these people, please believe they will make me imagine them to be like 16 years old if they wanted to, 15 years old, like any age, they can make me imagine, and my brain will truly go there because like there's no certainty. There's one thing they did, and I gotta be honest, I'm not like there's this 23 year old. I was going to pick up the pictures to make this video. There was this 23-year-old, and in her picture, she's kind of showing she's like a little subjective, less sexual, kind of showing her back area, right? And I looked at it, and they're like, "Oh, you see?" I was like, "Are you serious?" And they make you think that like are you think I'm delusional to that point? Of course I'm not, like listen, I do not want to be with a 23-year-old, but to not think that there's 20 like they want you to escape from reality. And so when I make these videos, They do things and say things to try to block that out. Oh, they're gonna rape you. Maybe you're gonna get castrated because they want you to escape in this, like in this reality. Listen, you're gonna force me to be stimulated with children. It's gonna be disgusting. Of all ages, from the babies, from the older kids. There's not much you need to create the stimulation of perceptions. That's what you guys do. They are full of nastiness. They're disgusting. Sometimes it goes to not even be the stimulation. Sometimes I guess their age right. If I cover the people's these ages here, guess them. You know how many times they just some of this torment they come from like even guessing the right age. It has become nonsensical. And of course I get the stimulation. Of course I get this just disturbingness after disturbingness. And be forced to see people in these different ways. These people I'm showing, thank God they're adults, but they were giving me stimulation because they're young. And so because they look this young, they force me to get stimulations. Not natural. Not, they are adults, right? I know this actual men my age that will actually be interested in these people like that. But I know this is falsified. And the reason why they do that is because they want to do that to younger people that are underage. To create this BS persona. It's not stop. I've made videos so much about the different trickeries and manipulation. I've talked about it. Some as far back as 2021, I think. And they're doing noise campaign because they try to bring that up again. I was like, this is the bottom feeders. And they're like, oh, they're gonna rape you. You see, you understand? They use this torture to get you to box in this BS. Because they want you to accept this BS. And as my memory fades away, that's why I'm so thankful that I was able to make these videos because, there may be a point when I won't be able to make those videos. And so I want to record these moments because in my mind, these things can be changed so fast. The reality of what just happened can change so fast and a new version of this reality can be created in my mind. And also to just wrap up here, you are agitated by so many people without purpose. And of course, even on YouTube. That's why I'm sorry if you have comments and I haven't responded. It's because I do ignore comments because of knowing that if they're perping at in my building, they can obviously do that via YouTube. So, to my target individual, please continue to make your testimonies. To me, it's not those testimonies are a way to speak when I won't be able to speak. And I know my purpose wants me to accept this reality they've put together. I know that's they want me to live in this facade. But the way I look at this thing is, there's a level of dignity in this death. I could be living like them. I could dumb myself down to this level. I could have experienced. I could have been doing these things. That is so much fun, but so indignified. I could have been them, and so I'm just thankful I didn't even get the opportunity to do this because it's disgusting. You sell yourself like you're such a bottom feeder that it's just so sad. I'd rather be a bottom than a bottom feeder any day. And the reason why I keep saying that is because they try to, when I call them bottom feeders, they call me a bottom because they say I'm gonna get raped and tortured. This is to them is like the excitement, and they try to bring up all the different things they forced me to be stimulated with, all the different things. And so, to all my target individuals, stay strong. You know who you are. These people who are using pedophilia type of torment are supposed to tell you who you are. No. The stimulations, the manipulation, the sensation, the perceptions, the thoughts, all of that is meant to make you accept a false persona. For me, very predicate centric. I've shown you all the different people, from the babies, from the teenage kids, from anybody, to get you to accept this. And it's never stopping. And you have people from your colleagues to people that random people that even your family involved in this. I know who I am. And matter of fact, they were trying to create these thoughts where, you know, after that, I was looking at people of my age range. I take people within 30 and up, right? Even 30, 30 is even getting old at this point. And they were trying to create the thoughts like, oh, yeah, I either like it's just non-stop. And I don't even want to go into these stupid details of how they try to do these things. But I even know that they're trying to push me to have these thoughts. My thought is for them to maybe be manipulated. Maybe there'll be a point when I completely won't be able to even know myself anymore. They will be completely there manipulating to the nth degree, like to another level that I'm not experiencing now. Now they're manipulating so much, but I still can put things together. So that's why I'm making this testimony is because it's like a last record of me before I'm completely removed. And you hear this childlike people tell me I'm gonna die. And you hear them saying that it's like, oh, my death, as dignified as it is also you can hear the weakest people talking to you, which is also another level of the degradation. Hearing their weakness is just it's degrading almost. But to all my target individuals, stay strong and know that justice will be done. It will be, and just maintain and just thank God that you didn't have to live this bottom feeder life. They are weak and they are cowards, and you could have been living like them. So stay strong and know that justice will be done.